All right, that last bit of Red Bull right there is calming me down. All right, we a little zen right now because I'm pissed. So you guys already saw my last video on these RNC cranks. If you haven't already, top the screen right now, click that link, come back to watch this one. Excuse my appearance, but I was outside sweating my butt off, painting these pillars, like little miniature pillars. I know you guys probably don't care, but I'm extending the island out on my kitchen and putting these like legs that kind of look like the pillar it's over here, but much smaller. And I was in the middle of painting them, so as the paint's drying, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get used to my bike, kind of get used to the crank arms before I go to film a video for everyone today. And yesterday I did like a manual down the street. I was like, oh yeah, they feel good. There's a nice little sweet spot on them, great length, great pitch to them, definitely feel good. And then, so today I go to do a 180 and I hear this like creak. And sometimes I hear that like if I didn't tighten my wheel up enough. So I look down and my chain has like the same exact slack as I had before. There's no issues, the wheel's moving good. I look a little bit closer and the crank arms are different, like they're on the spline different, and it wasn't the spline. At least in my first reaction, I thought it was, and then I looked down, I was like, no way. And I was able to establish that because I run a 28 tooth sprocket, and I looked at the number 28 and I saw where it was lined up on the crank arm. And on the crank arms, there are no like bosses for you to be able to bolt the sprocket to. So this is a spline drive sprocket, it's not gonna go anywhere. And when I looked down, I was like, man, these things kind of look crooked.
All right, sorry about the lawnmower in the background, but just did a 180 on flat ground, no lie. And that's how the cranks look right now. They skipped on the spline from a 180. I weigh 184 pounds. I'm pretty sure that these cranks should not be doing that. Look at that.
So I take them up to the garage. I was like, there's no way that it like slipped on the spline drive of 48 splines doing a 180. I weigh 184 pounds, I'm 6 foot tall. Just put things into perspective, all right? These should not be having that issue. Actually, no cranks should have that issue. Not even like one piece little baby cranks. So I take the bike up to the garage to get a closer look. And in the meantime, I'd set my phone up because I didn't have my phone out when I was doing a 180. I wasn't thinking anything would happen to the cranks. I was just trying to get used to it. And I set my phone up to do a test. So I keep my tires firmly planted on the ground. I squeeze my brake and I jump from the ground with my feet onto the pedals with not a ton of force, but a decent amount of force, as if you were doing like a bunny hop tail whip or a bunny hop 180. And when I landed, I'm not even gonna say it. Here's the video. Like I said, you can see crank arm issue. I mean, that's ridiculous. So I'm gonna try to jump on the cranks as hard as I can from right here and see if they move. All right, they did. And see if it moved off the 28. It did not move off the 28. I repeat, it did not move off the 28, which means it's rotating in this piece. They said it was all one piece of titanium, and I'm beginning to believe that that is not true. Let's do one more jump. All right, so after the one jump you see there, I'm gonna see if it still is lined up to the 2.8 on this. And it still is. I'm gonna give you guys a close up. Look at the difference in that right there. Look at that. That is ridiculous. That is not what should be happening here. Let's give it another jump. All right, I think we established the issue here. Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be. I mean, I'm rotating these things. Look at that. That is ridiculous. And the 28's still lined up. It's filming backwards, but you should be able to see that 2.8 right there. That is uncalled for. So when looking at these cranks, you see that there's a spline drive sprocket on this. These are bossless crank arms, which means there is no hole in the crank arm for a sprocket to mount to. So I have a spline drive sprocket, and the one side is spline only, so the crank arm slides on one direction. Now the other one's supposed to be cast from one piece of titanium. So that would mean that this is all one piece, and this would not rotate in here. Now as I rotate, you can already see that this does not look right. Now, I'm going to take this bolt off. I'm going to show you the inside and how you can see that the splines aren't going to be messed up. I'm willing to guarantee that. Now usually when you would look in here, if you can see these little splines, we're going to zoom in a little bit. Now these little splines you would skip on teeth, and as you see they're firmly gripped into their teeth that you can see there. I'll try to zoom in even more in post. And that's what makes me think that this back section is what isn't one piece, and I'll show you the other side. So when looking at this, as soon as I got the cranks, I was like, wow, that actually is pretty interesting for being one piece. And it looks like it's like a wedge design where this crank arm would wedge onto like the spindle where it flares out to lock it on there. And that's what I'm thinking that this design is, instead of being all one piece like he's claiming. And that's what I think moved. So I don't really know how to really tell because I can't get this off of here, but I'm gonna take the crank arms off right now and we're gonna assess it. I'm gonna give you guys a nice little close-up here. I'm gonna get this to focus in. And you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about, where there's no spline skipping here on these cranks. Nicely greased up. I'm thinking that this crank arm goes on the spindle and locks into the end as like a wedge type of design. And I can't really claim that it's actually got splines in there. I would assume that it has splines in there, but I also thought that in the description it said that this was all one piece of titanium, and that's what I thought, and I'm pretty pissed if that's a lie, because I spent a ton of money on these to be able to ride, do videos for you guys, and man, I'm blown away. I just messaged him, and we're gonna see what his response is. In the meantime, we're gonna take a look inside this crank arm. You're gonna see the splines there look good. I mean, I'm not gonna touch it because I don't wanna get my fingers all greasy before editing, but you can see that the splines look good in there. Now, as to be expected, I was pissed, right? Now, when that happened, immediately in my head, I was like, I thought these were cast out of one piece of titanium. And now it had me second guessing myself. Are these three piece and it's just like a wedge design? I was kind of freaking out. So now I'm gonna go on the RNC BMX website. I'm going to screenshot the section where it says in the description that it is made out of one piece of titanium. The crank arms are machined from a solid bar of 6AL 4V titanium with no welds, making them unbelievably strong and stiff. I call bullshit. I call bullshit. Or you guys didn't do enough testing in-house, or have like riders, like your friends or something like that, riding these things before you sold them. I would take these off the website, figure this out before you start selling more of them, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that bought a set of these and is gonna have this problem. So if you guys bought a set of these, don't ride them. Please do not ride these on any obstacles because you could get hurt. I'm telling you right now, when I did the 180, it kind of like caught me off guard because usually it would just be an easy 180, but it crunched down. I mean, I can already imagine if you went up a transition with some type of G's or force, game over, especially if you weren't expecting that. And like I said, I'm pissed. And it's not just because of money, it also is because of safety. Not just mine, but somebody else's. Now that I'm thinking about it, other people have definitely bought these cranks. I can't be the only one that bought a set of these cranks. So yeah, I mean, that's gotta be figured out. Take these things off the website, get it figured out. I did ask for a full refund from Ryan. We'll see what he says. I'm waiting for the message to pop up, and hopefully he'll respond before the end of this video so I can show you guys. All right, now moving on to another topic that has to do with the previous video. I did receive one negative comment. One negative comment. I like to address everyone, and I'm not saying that in like a condescending way or anything like that. I want to address everyone. I want everybody to have a voice on my channel. In the comments below, feel free to voice your comment on this subject or any other subject. Let me know what bike parts you have. But I want to talk about this. So somebody commented and said, I'm paraphrasing right now, but they said something along the lines of, I deleted my comment. I don't like how you went about this. Unsubscribed. And so I went and responded and said, I'm really sorry to see you go. You're a long-time subscriber, as I can tell from your name. I'm paraphrasing as well, but this is something that I was going through in my head. And then I said along the lines of, please let me know how you would have handled it, because at the end of the day, I was trying to give people the buying experience that they deserve because I am a buyer, right? And I wasn't like trashing RNC, the product as a brand. I was trashing the customer service and how you should buy your product from someone else. So with that being said, I think like people deserve to know that type of stuff. And you're always going to get that genuine response from me, period. You know, that's the reason why I buy these products, because I'm not beholden to any brand. Any brand. I will say what I want about any company because I'm buying it and it's with my own money. So I'm not doing a paid review from somebody. And if I am, you'll see it here on the screen. It'll say like paid review or paid partnership, and it'll just be a partnership type of thing. You would never see me hold up these RNC cranks and be like, these things are amazing. They're the best cranks ever. You should go buy some right after this just happened to them. Never. I care about your safety more than any amount of money, because at the end of the day, my name is held behind that type of image, and I would never do that. So that's to address that person. And I feel like I would love to see them come back. I'm all for engaging with everyone and trying to see eye to eye and maybe where they're coming from on how they thought that I was coming across in that last video. I might have been a little more angry than I am right now, but it is what it is, man. I spent over $500 and I expected a little more in return as far as some customer service. Being a business owner, I like to give that to my customers as far as letting them know how much I appreciate them. And I like to support and appreciate other small business owners. I mean, my other friends have businesses outside of BMX. I try to use them versus going with somebody even cheaper, because I know that they're trying to grow and be prosperous in their field. So that, as soon as I saw RNC, I was like, oh, sweet. A smaller brand probably needs some help. I would love to give back, and they're making some sick products, at least what it looked like, right? So with that being said, those are my feelings on the RNC BMX Superlite cranks. He did just message me back right now, right? He messaged me back and said, yeah, really sorry. I'm super bummed. All my in-house testing I did, they never moved, but looks like I'm going to have to go back to welding them at the seam. If you send them back, I can have them fixed up for you. See, I really do appreciate the fact that, I mean, now he messaged me back, not just messaging me, but a long paragraph and a timely manner. So I'm texting him back right now, and I said, to be honest, I would like a full refund. If you can refund the full amount, I will ship them back to you this week. He said, okay, that's fine. So we'll see what he says. And I'm hoping that he pulls through with it, but I'm gonna go back to riding my profile racing cranks and go back to what I know is best. So if you guys have any suggestions for maybe other product reviews you wanna see on my channel, put a comment below. If you guys have any other suggestions for future videos, put those in the comments. If you guys like this video, drop a like. If you love it, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you next one.